What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert, and this is the B1KER Bar Podcast live stream. Oh, man. So just kind of pulled this episode together. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. I was stuck out on the trail. Like that was a problem, right? Having a good time. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh, I have a podcast that I do every week. And apparently it's not going to happen if I keep screwing around with this thing. So you guys, this is what I'm doing for you, man. I'm like cutting my ride short, get back here in the garage, have a cold beer, and do the BIKER Bar. So this week we're going to have Daly on. He challenged me to a weight loss thing a few months ago, and we're going to chat about how that went. But first, let's talk about the sponsors. There's been a lot of new sponsors lately, and I'm super stoked about that, man. I'm seeing people drop by the Patreon. Apparently, you guys are willing to support the channel. That buck, instead of, I say this every week. Back when you used to be able to go to a bar, buy a beer, give that bartender a buck, and be like, sweet, thanks for pouring that, dude. And here you get to listen to me and somebody else talk about bikes for 2 or 3 hours, and probably 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours. Let's say it that way, because I don't think I've ever done a 3-hour BIKER Bar. Definitely done a few 3-hour live streams on the BIKER channel though. Anyways, so I appreciate you guys deciding to support the channel. Those of you guys that have, those of you guys that haven't, if you have an extra buck to spare a month, just swing by and do that, because it really helps a lot. Like just recently, one of my gimbals died, one of my Hero 4s died, and I'm having to like come up to the new century of filming with all the rest of these guys, and I bought a Hero 9, or you guys bought a Hero 9 to help support the channel. So those of you guys that want to spend a little bit more than a buck for $5, you can get a sticker pack, and there's some other benefits. You can go out there to patreon.biker.com or patreon.com/biker and hear all about it. If you want something for free, just swing by Instagram or Facebook /BikerB1, and there's always kind of some content up there. Those of you guys that super chat, you guys are awesome, man. I really appreciate when I see them pop up. It means a lot. So definitely don't feel like you can't do that. So you throw one up. I might not be able to say like thank you right away, but believe me, it's definitely very much appreciated. Anything that you guys do to support the channel goes back into the channel and or into my beer belly. And then sorry, I got hung up by somebody said, let's get this one to 3 hours in the comments. Sorry. That's what happens when I read and try to talk at the same time. It doesn't work out very well. Anyways, so I appreciate you guys super chatting. If you get a chance, swing by my Instagram. There's this Instagram counter thing that I see on Facebook every time I'm on there. This company called Smirl, SMIRL, and it's like live, real time, like shows your like Instagram followers as it happens. If we get $300 in super chats in this show, I will buy it. And then we'll be able to see every time one of you guys actually hits the follow button on Instagram. And if we don't, we could just work on it, like #Smurl or something. I don't know. Anyways, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. So let's go ahead and bring Josh back on. He's probably over there sleeping, taking a nap or something, whatever Josh does. What's up, Josh?
I've just been like screaming, like, I don't know if I want to be the guy who does the 3-hour podcast. Like, how about I do the guy that does like the shortest one yet? Right?
Right. The 3 minutes. It's over.
The 3-minute podcast.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right? How's it going up there, dude?
Dude, it is cold and muddy and yet beautiful up here.
Nice. Nice.
And
I asked you like how it was going before I like really looked at your face, and what the hell, dude? You're like, it's cold. Like usually when people are cold, they grow a beard. Like you're just like upper lip is all you're worried about, right?
I can grow some would say best. My wife would say worst mustache in the world.
That's not a mustache. That's a porn stash. I just
yeah,
want to
it is.
clarify.
Yeah.
That's a porn stash.
Yeah, it's like a 70s cop stash. I always do no shave November. Usually I do the whole beard, and then December 1st I shave down and keep the mustache. But I for the first time didn't shave like my bottom neck nasty beard. And so it was itchy as all stink. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do stash for 2 weeks, because everyone at my job, everyone I see on the trails, my wife, everyone's like, that stash it's like the most polarizing subject. People love it or they hate it. So I'm like,
Those of you guys that are listening to this after the fact, like he's basically got like Ned Flanders on lock, dude. Like,
howdy ho there, neighbor.
Right? Oh my God, it's really him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how it's polarizing, dude. Definitely. I cut my beard off the other day. The lady was like, her and my daughter were like talking, and the lady like had a couple of glasses of wine, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I loved it whenever he didn't have a beard." Blah, 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 blah. And then they were like getting on me about like why I should shave and blah blah blah. And then like a couple of days later, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of getting chicken wing sauce in this thing. I'm over it today. And I started shaving it off, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I was cutting my beard off. Don't you remember the other day telling me about how you what's going on? I don't know. You're confusing me, you know." And then after I shaved it off, she's like, "Yeah, no, I don't like
it." Dude, when you try to please people, see, that's why it's like, even if people are haters, I'm like, well, you're going to hate. And I'm going to look in the mirror and say, man, I'm beautiful every day.
Yeah. The good thing about my facial hair is that it just comes back so fast. I don't know. I always tell people the one thing that I'm like really efficient at is growing hair. Like
me and you, man.
Yeah. That was the one gift I got. It was like, can't ride bike for a shit, but man, he can grow a beard like tomorrow.
Yeah, can't do any tricks off stunts, can't fix my own bike, but you know what, man, I can get hairy.
Right. Just like you wouldn't even believe. So what's going on, man, with the riding, dude? I haven't seen a lot on your channel. What's up with that?
So I actually have been posting far more, almost, not quite weekly, because big news, I hired a video editor, and it is awesome. He's actually on here right now. I don't know if he's still listening, Isaac. But Isaac is an awesome high school student who I've known for a long time, and he has done some editing before. And I was like, dude, Isaac, how about I pay you a paycheck to edit videos? Yeah. He was like, absolutely. So he's been a great, more than student, he's been doing a lot of the grunt work I hate doing, which is why I don't post videos. And so no, I've been posting a ton more, just like bike reviews and stuff, but not as much riding content, which I know some people really miss the riding content.
I'm gonna have to go subscribe again. I think I might be not subscribed.
and there is going to be some more riding content, but that's going to be a subject we have to talk about a little later in the show, because you're going to think it's great and the viewers are going to love it.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'm excited. Now you I don't understand how you can do that to me. You're like, hey, I want to talk about this, but not right now.
Not right now. It'll come up later. Don't you worry. But no, man, like also like Washington riding, like it's always rainy or it just rained. So the trails are really muddy. And I know you have to drive a little bit to get to your good trails, but for me, like I ride the same trails all the time. And it's like, yeah, there's multiple systems, but it's like, man, I don't ride trails that I haven't posted a video about. I could do like an update, like get a PR on my backyard trails. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've already made videos about that, or how would I make a fresh spin? I think I get stuck in my head when I should just bring a GoPro and make some fun videos.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that lately. A lot of the videos that I built my channel on were all like POV, like, hey, this trail or that trail, and, in my personal, and I guess you could call it at this point, professional opinion, those videos really suck. So like I really wasn't good at editing. I didn't really know what a story was. I didn't know how to put a video together. And I've been thinking about lately, maybe kind of going back through and redoing those kind of trail videos, but with a newer spin. And I think the newer spin is that, I mean, I don't know, you would probably agree with me, like POV is kind of burned out, right?
Yeah.
So doing them more in a vloggy POV kind of way, where it's like, instead of 15 minutes of POV, it's like, good B-rolls and drone shots and actually talking about what's interesting in the trail. And you know what I mean? Like, instead of just like some dude and two of his buddies riding the trail and then drinking beer when they're done and then doing a crappy edit.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking of. If I did it again, I would do basically showcasing the 3 biggest features on the trails that I love. Yeah. And kind of giving hey, because people come to Bellingham all the time and they ride the same trails. So it's like, man, it'd be great to do a breakdown of each of the trails. Like, hey, you're going to come up on this. Here's the multiple lines. Here's what you can do and can't do, so to speak. So yeah, I've definitely thought about that as well.
Because that's something that I really didn't do. Like I thought that I was doing a good trail guide, but I never really was like for instance, did you ride Auburn when you were out here with me? I can't remember.
We didn't ride Auburn, but I know that's your backyard trail.
Yeah. So there's like this one trail culvert that everybody does. It's kind of like a flowy, just fast, fun trail, right? And the reason it's called culvert is because there's a big culvert. And if those of you guys that don't know what a culvert is, it's basically a tunnel, right? So there's this big, huge metal tunnel that you ride through, right? And it's probably, I would say it's at least like 30, 40 yards long. So when you go into it, it's kind of like, it's pitch black in there, and all you're seeing is like this light at the other end of the tunnel, and you just kind of focus on that. No, you're not going to hit anything, and roll right through. And it's kind of a trip whenever you do it, right? Mm-hmm. And like something like that is something that I explain to people every time that I'm taking somebody up there for the first time. Like, hey, when you come in there, no, you're not going to hit anything. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like explanation of like, just let your brakes go, you'll be fine, you know? And like, that's the type of thing that I never really like laid out in any video that I ever did going through that, you know, like actually giving a guide of like, hey, this is like what you should expect on this trail, you know? So
yeah. And that like my thoughts exactly. Like I realize there's so many things I tell people, right? Like,
yeah,
like, unfortunately, Robert, we need to get you up here. Wink, wink. But I always tell people whenever they go on a ride, it's like Galbraith Mountain, which is in my backyard. It's like, it's private property. And so every time you used to ride on it, you were a guest on, you know, logging and tree forest people's property. And so we have to take care of the trails. We have to be respectful. We have to do this. And just a year and a half ago, those trails only now will forever be recreational use trails, which is crazy.
Oh, wow. So they got like just like some kind of new access granted or something?
Yeah, they finally basically, it was like half the city and half our local mountain bike coalition raised enough money so that it could be purchased, saying that you can't develop it. You can't build housing development or do whatever you want with it, which is crazy that it could have been with all the amazing trails we have in Galbraith. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's super cool though. So like they made it happen though.
Yeah, they did, man. It only took like 25, 30 years.
Yeah, that's the way that stuff goes though. Like honestly.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like there's trail systems that people are trying to put together right now that, you know, we'll never get the ride, but our kids will. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I guess that's the way it goes, you know?
Yeah, but I would love to make a video and like talk about stuff like that in an interesting way, as well as, you know, trail features. And there are that's a good channel name, Trail Features. Anyway,
yeah, right. I wonder if anybody started one like that already.
There's so many things on Galbraith that are like worth going out of your way for. It's like I could build a video like around a single feature and showcase it, right? So
yeah, and that's the other thing that like I guess I've learned along the way of like how to create content is like how to really like how you could just, you know, like this one little feature I'm trying to beat and you can make a whole video out of that. You know what I mean? And like I would have never really like thought about a video in that aspect whenever I first started. Yeah. But like I said, I really didn't I've said this a bunch of times recently to people, like I really didn't understand what the story was. I would tell people you need to have a story, but I didn't really understand what it was until I'd probably say within the last year or so. Yeah. You know, where I really actually kind of got it. And I was like, no, that's what it meant. You know, like,
and it takes time to develop. Like it's thinking of a story and communicating it in a way that's engaging for the whole time. Those are two different things, right? Like I always say, like, you want to be a better storyteller, go read a kid's book to a kid. Because if you suck at reading a story, well, first, if you suck at reading, good luck, right? But if you're not good at telling a story, like a kid's going to be like, this is boring, or I don't want to do this, right? So you got to animate the heck out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to explain it, honestly.
Yeah.
So your other channel is reading kids' books. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a daily. Well, not with this mustache. No parent would let their kids watch those videos. What are you watching? How'd you find this?
Right.
This is too cheesy. This is bad.
Like, I don't like the way that guy looks.
Yeah. Neither does he, but anyway.
Right? Just woke up that way. Oh man, that's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't you do a channel with your son for a little bit?
Eli made we made two videos that were Eli's cooking channel. And
that's what it was. That's right.
Yeah, it's him playing with his toys, but it's super cute.
Yeah. No, super fun. Right on, dude. I feel like I was thinking about this the other day. My daughter wants to like do a channel and she keeps asking me to like help her like learn how to edit. And like, I'm like, you don't understand. A, I don't like editing. And B, I'm like barely getting good at it. So like, I don't really know if you want me to teach you. But then I was thinking about it. Like, I was like on like, one of those long grinder climbs. And I was like, man, that would be cool if I had a little kid I could do a channel with, and then I was like, dude, your kid is asking you to do a channel and you're not doing it. So I think I have to reevaluate how I'm doing that. So I think I might have to do something with her.
Does she know what she wants to make it about?
I think that's the thing is like, she doesn't really.
Yeah.
But she like recorded all this stuff whenever she got her wisdom teeth out. And she like wanted to make a video about that. And then she never really did. But it was a pretty funny day. It wasn't as funny as like some of the stuff I've seen on like TikTok and YouTube, but it was pretty funny. She was telling me about how she was like when she was all doped up. I'm the CEO of funny. And I was like, man, you are definitely my daughter. Just because you're the CEO, that means I'm a shareholder. So
hey, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm the first investor. So
I got this.
Founders rights or whatever you call it.
Right.
No.
So we should.
All right, dude. Well, I was just gonna say we got to talk about weight loss.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get around to. I think like we didn't even like really communicate what we were and weren't talking about. So I'll just kind of like give you a wink whenever I feel like it's getting like, I don't know. So anyways, I think this is the deal. Like we can tell everybody on here because not everybody on our channels listens to the podcast, but we did the weight loss challenge and there was a date, which was the night of the elections was the last day that we could weigh in. And which one of us won? Who do you guys think in the comments? Which one of us won the weight loss challenge?
Yeah.
Let's go
you gotta let them think about it. Well, first let's talk about like our greatest successes and our greatest struggles over the challenge.
I think my greatest success is that I lost 48 pounds, dude. Like I started with like 81 to lose, which seemed like, oh my God, it just seemed like so much weight. Like I've lost 50 pounds before. So like that like was like, I knew that was a big feat, but to like be like, hey, I'm going to lose 81 was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Like what I've done is I've lost enough weight to be like where I would, when I thought I was fat before.
Yeah.
So I still have like now I'm like back to the weight that I was at like 2 years ago, saying like, man, I need to get back down to 220. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but 48 pounds, like that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. It's a shit ton of weight, dude.
Yeah.
I got these adjustable dumbbells right over here on the bench and like they go up to 50 pounds. And so I picked that up and I'm like, wow, like that's what I was carrying that, I'm like, this is friggin' heavy, know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My son, I'm trying to think how much Eli weighs. I don't, maybe it's like 30 pounds, but it's right around that area. And I'm like, holy cow, like if I had to wear this kid around as a backpack all day, that's a tough day. Right. Like,
yeah.
I would hate my life. For me, I think the biggest success is it's funny. Making YouTube videos, people all the time, like every time I'd go writing, Josh, how's the weight loss update? Or, Josh, are you less fat now? Like that's usually what it was. The best is in the last like month, I've gotten a lot more from like at the pump track from like the middle school kids or the high school kids. Yeah. Josh, you're looking less tubby, man. It's looking good. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And I'm it's like, wow, that's like, it's cool to have people like spur you on and encourage you and ask you about it. So
yeah. I definitely have had a lot of people like, wow, dude, like you look way different. And I'm like, I still think I look the same. Like when I was fat, I still thought I looked like a little bit heavier than 220. Like I would look in the mirror and be like, oh, you're a pretty good fat guy. I mean, I don't think you're like you're not like a gross fat guy. You're just like a big guy, you know. And like now, I look at the pictures of myself at that point. I'm like, yeah, no, dude, you were gross fat. So, like,
yeah, it's interesting.
And no offense to anybody that is that size, because like honestly, I can talk as much shit about myself as I want. I'm not talking about you guys. So
exactly. But it's interesting, like even in videos I made, like I look back and I'm like, dang, like in that moment, I knew I had some pounds to lose, but I didn't think it was that bad. So as
dude, when I saw you in Sedona, I was like, holy shit, dude, he ate somebody.
Yeah. It was two babies. It was small people, but
two little babies.
People. Yeah.
Not that I
didn't realize it.
I mean, I was like full term pregnant, dude. So I mean, like, it's like I was ready to have a baby like any day, little baby Jesus.
Well, I was probably 185 pounds when I visited you, right? So I was up basically 45 pounds or whatever, you know.
It's definitely, you know, the thing I think that there's two things that were actually like really good about it so far. So I think the first thing is definitely that I wanted to mention is that, man, I my level of fitness is like insane compared to where I was before. And my level of fitness is actually better than when at least my level of riding fitness is better now than it was when I was 220 before. Like I'm definitely like I'm doing a 4,500 foot climb ride, and like still like, well, I could do another lap if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like it's where before like 2,500 feet in a run, like one ride, like that was a pretty like legit day, you know. Once in a while I would do 3,000 feet and it would be like, I'd be pretty damn close to destroyed, you know?
Yeah.
And like the other day I went like on Thanksgiving Day, I did like 3,500 feet. I did like 3 laps at Auburn and was like, dang, I guess I could do another one, but I'm kind of just bored of doing the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's another, you know, it's like, that's crazy, you know, because even when I was 220 before, I mean, I think I was, you know, obviously more fit overall, but I wasn't in the riding shape that I'm in now.
Yeah.
Like to be able to do like a 30-mile ride and like just be like, you know, if somebody wanted to go do another ride at the end of the day, I would have been like, okay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just really hard for me to wrap my head around. It's hard for me to like, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that's hard to explain to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain to people. Like, I was riding with Isaac, who edits my videos, and I was like, and he was like, I've never done this trail. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, because if we go do that, it's like 2,000 feet of vertical, right? And so for him, he's like, I was like, dude, climbing is so fun. He's like, no, it's not fun. And I said, no, here's why climbing is fun. If you're in shape and can climb a ton, it means you can descend way more. So you feel like in the 2 hours that you would normally ride, you've done twice as many trails. And the reason is because you've done twice as many trails because you're not fat and can pedal.
Yeah, for sure. I think the other thing that's kind of weird too is like I haven't really reset my brain yet. So like when I started doing the laps the other day in Auburn, where I was like, well, I'll do 2. I mean, 2 times climbing up, that's gonna suck. You know what I mean? And it was like as I was pedaling, I was like, well, that's only like 2,200 feet, dude. Like you should probably do more, you know? And then so it was like halfway through the first one, I was like, I'll do 3 laps, you know, and like to like put myself in a spot where it's like I'm just gonna go out and like go for a ride and accept that 3,000 feet is like my normal ride now instead of like 1,200 feet. You know what I mean? Like that's like I haven't really wrapped my head around that yet, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and it's just crazy, right? It takes a while to like comprehend, oh yeah, I can do way more than what my brain is telling me.
Yeah. Well, and especially way more than like what I've done for a long time. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing where it's like that I think that's the part where it's just like, no, dude, you can do that and you're not going to be like bonking or like, I don't do a ride like that and worry about, oh, well, I can't ride that many miles today because tomorrow I'm supposed to go ride with these other guys and I don't want like to be burned out. Like, it's just like, oh, I'll just ride whatever and I'll do it tomorrow too, you know? Like,
so speaking of, I have a question for you that's setting me up for a crazy story. Okay. And I just realized I have to double check this if you have an answer to this story. But anyway, since I've been riding more, I've experienced like way more things on the trails, like crazy incidents, like crazy people that I meet up with, or like a crazy story of what happened to me coming off of a trail. Have you realized like anything out of the normal since you've been riding so much more, like people you see more or other stuff going on?
Man, I feel like I'll probably have something spur after you start talking about it, but like right off the top of my head, I really can't think of anything like that's really like really kind of like coming to mind. So obviously you have something that's just like kind of
dude, you have no idea. Okay, so here's what happened. So you made me think of it with like the you don't realize how long you can ride. It's like it was a Thursday, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into work early, and I'm going to leave at like noon, and I want to do like a 4-hour ride. And so I like left wherever I decided to ride. That's part of the story. And I like planned a route, and I was like, I don't know how many feet elevation, but I know it's going to be a lot. And my plan was I wasn't going to take a break. I was just going to ride the whole time. So the first part of the story is I get to an unsanctioned trail. This is, in a different state. I flew to Montana for the day. And I had ridden this trail in a long time, and I was coming down, and it was a really, really steep, sharp corner. So I was trying to go really slow, but I was going too slow, and I totally noobed it. Like, and I don't know if you noob it very often, but I just like forgot how to ride bikes. Yeah. What'd you say?
I did a few times a day, dude. It's like irritating.
So
anyways,
I noobed it on the corner, like flipped over the bars, and I was like, my hand hurt and my knee hurt, and I was like, oh man, this sucks. But I was like, and my adrenaline's like pumping because I just fell, and I was like, I'm a long way from home, and I need to get home. Right. And what I didn't realize was in that stunt, I broke my hand. I don't know if you knew I broke my hand.
Shoot. No, I think I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so luckily it wasn't a bad break. It was this bone right here underneath your pinky, and so it was just a minor one. So I didn't even know it was broken for 2 weeks, but it kept bugging me when I did certain things, and I couldn't charge as hard as I wanted to on my mountain bike. And then I went to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's broken," and I was like, "What? Like I've been fine." And he's like, "Yeah, you need to wear a cast for like 4 weeks, and you can't do anything." And I was like, "But I'm fine." Like, and then I went to the hand specialist, and the hand specialist is like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. You don't need to wear a cast all the time. You just don't want to re-injure it." I'm like, thanks, man. Anyway.
That makes me feel like I've broken my hand before.
Oh, probably.
I like honestly, like legitimately, I don't remember, but man, my hand was jacked for like 3 months. Yeah. Like I could not and obviously like the lady would weekly tell me like, well, you have insurance, idiot. Why don't you go to the doctor? And I'd be like, it's not that bad. It just hurts every time I ride. Like
it's not too bad, honey.
Yeah, so that's funny.
So here, I have a picture that shows this. I don't know if it's going to come up on the camera. Oh, there's the light. So, oh, come on. There we go. So this bone right there.
This is like the one that's attached underneath his pinky.
Yeah, it's just bent in a little bit. And so where that cursor is on the other side, like half the bone broke and just twisted a little sideways. So that's why I didn't feel it that much, but it was obviously broken. So anyway, so I break my hand. I didn't know it. I'm a little banged up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's kind of getting late. I just need to get home. So I went down a more direct path on another gnarly trail and like fell like 2 times. And I was just like, man, I'm like out of it. And at this point, I realized I've probably done 3,300 feet of elevation, which is basically like 1,000 meters.
Yeah, that's a big day.
Yeah, and I think I stopped and took like a 3-minute break to eat a bar, but that was it. And so I'm climbing out, and it's this long, like not a road that you can't drive a car on. There's like a gate on it. It's kind of like where logging trucks go.
Yeah.
So I'm like getting home. I'm like thinking, man, I'm so hungry. Man, my hand kind of hurts. And as I get up to the last gate, and you have to like get off your bike and like lift it over, I'm like thinking about anything stupid. And all of a sudden, I hear, whoa! And then all of a sudden I look over, and a car flies off the road at 60 miles an hour.
What?
Goes flying down a ditch, like a huge ditch into nothing. And I just hear, and there's like smoke going up. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? And I'm thinking, I literally, like I said out loud, like, oh my gosh, like those people might be dead. So I like lift my bike over the side of the gate, and I'm thinking, I'm about to like see brains out everywhere.
Yeah, you're like,
I call 911. And so like I jump on my bike and pedal to go over there after I get over the gate. And then all of a sudden, a guy stumbles out from the ravine, and he like looks so messed up, and he gets up and he kind of like looks left and looks right, like he's like totally whacked out. And then he starts running right towards me. And my brain is like
full on sprinting at you.
Yeah, my brain's like, what is going on?
Like,
and then I realized
T2 Terminator freaking coming at you, dude.
yeah, and he's probably like 20 feet away, and I'm like, dude, are you okay? And then he's like, and he looks at me in the eyes, and I realize this dude's gonna try to steal my bike. And so he starts running towards me, and then all of a sudden he like looks at me, and then he looks right, and this is the freeway. Like there's Montana freeway, very freeway right here. And all of a sudden he veers off and just runs towards the freeway. And I'm like, and then my brain's like, oh my gosh, like this guy is fleeing from the police. And as I like mentally process that, this is all happening so fast. It's like, woo, 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 woo. Like 3 police cars show up.
Oh
and,
no.
Like, and the cops get out, and I'm like, and they get out, and I'm like, he went that way. He went that way. He just ran that way towards the freeway. And so they come out, they're like, thanks. And they're like, don't go anywhere. We obviously we want to get a report of what's going on. And so I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. So I like pedal up to where the car popped off the road, and this dude, it gets crazy. And so I'm like, what the heck? And I was like, I couldn't see where it went. And so I like look over, and the 3 other cops are like down trying to find the guy. And I look over, and I see a chick over there, and there's some chick crouched over trying to light a cigarette. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy was driving with some twerker girl, and she's like high on drugs trying to smoke a cigarette, not realizing the cops are about to like arrest her. And so literally I'm like, what the heck? And so the cop like turns around and sees me, and this chick can't see me, and I'm like waving to the cop. I'm like, come here. There's a twerker over here, man. Come here. And so he like finally he got it. He was like, oh, okay. And he runs over, and he's like, put your hands up. And she's like, ah. Finally they like get her up, and I like tell him my report. And then as I'm about to leave, this is like 10 minutes later, some random car pulls up behind the police officers. And mind you, this is like a dead-end road. So like there's like one house by it. Right. And I'm thinking they probably don't live here. And the lady gets out, and she's like, hey, I just want to let you guys know there's some guy running across the freeway. And they're like, what? So this guy literally darted towards the freeway and started zigzagging. They got like multiple calls. He was zigzagging across the freeway. The cops, turns out, have no idea why he ran, but he took the nearest exit and then came flying towards me, jumped off the road. And yeah. So anyway, I was super tired. I pedaled home, and then part of me is like, did that really happen? And then I realized something. I was like, oh my gosh, I am the biggest dummy in the world. I make videos on YouTube. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me on a mountain bike, and I didn't take any videos of it.
None.
But I went home and like told my wife, and she's like, you should go back and like see if there is anything there. So I took my son with me. I was like, dude, you want to go see a crash car? He's like, yeah. Right. And so I went. I have picture evidence to show the car. It was crazy. So
that's crazy.
Oh no, it just moved. Okay, I'll show you guys. But anyway, isn't that not nuts?
Oh, dude, that is insane.
Yeah.
I feel like I had something happen to me recently when it was one of those like situations where like, did that really happen? Like, did that really just happen? You know, like when you're saying that out loud to your buddies, you know, and I can't recall what it was. So it definitely wasn't that good though. That was golden.
So the cop sent me the picture of the guy they caught. So that's the dude who went to jail, who ran away. They asked me like his description. I was like, I don't remember. I was kind of out of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
here it is. Okay. So this is the car. I'll try to.
So what is that? Like an old, like an Integra or something? Is that a Honda
No,
Civic?
it's an Accord. But you can see,
there you go.
Look at the hood of that thing. It's like totally jacked up.
Oh yeah. It's like, so those of you guys that are listening, it's not really jacked up. It's like the plastics, the under plastics are kind of ripped off.
So this kind of shows you, I forget it's an audio podcast.
Yeah.
This shows you over on this side, that's where the car went off the road.
Yeah, it's pretty steep over there. I can see that.
Yeah, and it went way far in there where you couldn't even see it. So it was awesome. Crazy circumstance. So anyway, I went back, and of course the police were still there, and they're pulling the car out. And I was like, "Can I get video of it?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely, man. Come on over."
So you got a video of them taking the car out?
I didn't. So the car had just been pulled out. But then the chick was there, and she wasn't handcuffed anymore. She's like talking to him.
Yeah, so like, this is my car.
I just met that guy, picked him up, and he made me drive this way. So
right? Yeah, I don't even know his name.
Yeah, but literally, I was like, man, I should like make a video like the craziest thing that happened to me on a bike. I was like, I don't know if people would watch it, but I don't know. It was nuts, man. So
yeah, that was I feel like there's some like fun ways that you could do that, and it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
like I think like you could use like Matchbox cars and like shoot it in slow motion, so it'd be like like tell the story. Yeah, like kind of like the Moonlight video,
Yeah,
like a little reenactment. But I feel like you could tell that story. It'd be pretty. I mean, it was pretty entertaining to listen to. So,
dude, it was nuts. Yeah, I'll never forget that guy like stumbling towards me, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna steal my bike.
Yeah, you just realize that is pretty funny. Like you're like, oh god. This is really what's happening right now. This guy is about to jack me.
And then I was thinking through, like, what would I have done if he was like, give me your bike? I would have probably like tried to hit him with it or something. I don't know.
What is it with you and cops, man? You had like your situation with the cops before with
my stolen bike?
Your stolen bike. Yeah, dude. Apparently this is like a theme for your channel, dude.
Dude, they and the police department in Bellingham, they like keep hitting me up. They're like, hey, can we use your footage for a video we're making? Like, they love me, man. They thought the video was great.
Well, I'm sure they don't normally get to be on YouTube, right? So they're like, dude, I'm famous now, man.
Not just that, but they're like, somebody on YouTube actually likes the police. Like, this is great.
Yeah, right. Especially oh man, I almost went down a rabbit hole. I'm not going to do that. Oh Lord, just shut up, Robert. This is a mountain biking podcast.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the weight loss competition. I didn't read any of the answers of who said they thought who won, but let's just go ahead and break it to him. Josh actually won. It was a very, very close margin, though. I think if I would have lost another maybe 2 pounds, I might have had you. Yes.
So to remind everybody, it started, I don't know what the day was. It was August something, but it wasn't Robert's original weight versus my original weight. It was from that time for the next, it was basically 3 months.
Yeah. I don't even think it was that long. I think it might've been 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it was end of August. I want to say it was right around my birthday. So end of August. And then basically we were going to November 6th. So it was a little bit over 2 months, but not much. Yeah.
And so from when I saw Robert's video, I had lost a couple pounds before we officially started, but I was at 223 and then I got down to 198. So I lost 25 pounds in 3 months basically. But for our competition, I lost 21.2 pounds. And then Robert, you lost 17.6.
Yeah. So it was, oh wow, you pulled it up too. You even had it handy.
Yeah,
it was close. And I remember too, the next week after, I think I had a big week after that too. And I was like, oh, that bastard. I would have had you if I would have had another week, but oh well.
Yeah.
But no, it was it was legit, dude. It was really fun to have the competition. And I think that it was good to check in with each other. I mean, I think that's valuable. So I think that if you guys are out there going through something trying to lose weight or something like that, that I feel like it's beneficial to have somebody that you're checking in with, I know I hit you up a couple of times. I was like, Josh, I feel like you're losing your motivation, dude.
Josh, get your act together. No, it was really nice though, because I mean, we texted every Monday because Robert always waited on Monday. I weighed every day. And so it was good to just talk about how things were going or, if it was a tough weekend. And and it was, losing weight is a journey. It's not just easy peasy. And I think we were able to confide in each other for it's like, man, we didn't have a great week, or we didn't lose weight this week, right? Or for the month of October, I just kind of maintained, which isn't a bad thing. It can feel like a bad thing, but it's like, man, I lost 20 pounds and I'm not gaining 10 of it back instantly, right? So maybe that is a pretty good thing. So
that's been this last month for me. Like basically since we like stopped, I've just like, I've been like just teetering, like, and I'll like work out super hard and then just like freaking let go all weekend. You know what I mean? And so then it's like during the next week, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that this week. This week, I'm going to work out. I'm going to stay solid through the diet on the weekend. And then the weekend comes and it's like, I don't even care, dude. And then it's like, so, but I've been totally maintaining. I think I might have gained, like we said before, the podcast, like 2 or 3 pounds, which is really not really gaining anything. Could be like have to poop that day. But so that part of it is like, it's definitely good. But I think for me, it's like, I'm still like, I still want to hit that goal.
Yeah.
And I think this is the other end of it though, too. The thing that's like really hard for me is like, I think that goal meant to me, like not only like a size, but it meant like a level of fitness. And I think that because I'm like way outdoing that level of fitness right now, that the weight it's not as important to me anymore.
Yeah.
So it's harder for me to stay motivated to get to the 220, where it's like, dude, I'm like killing it on the trails right now, like I'm like really stoked about that, here, you'll know this. I know. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people that listen to this are out here. So like the shuttle ride in Downeyville is like 45 minutes in a van from the bottom to the top. And like one of my friends was talking to me about it the other day, and this was like before it started snowing. It's like, dude, it's like 5,000 feet. You want to do it? Like climb it. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like, dude, Robert, when the hell would Robert like ever want to like do 5,000 feet of climbing? Like never. Like this is like, it would like, I would laugh at you. I would be like, I don't even care. Like there's nothing in me that wants to do that. Like, that's great. You can do that, dude. Like I'm going to ride the van and laugh at you when I'm up at the top, so like for me to be at a point where like, that's an option, like that's huge, like that's a really big difference,
Yeah.
So
and it feels so good to think about those things that you want to do and realize like, yeah, I could do that. Like I could pedal 5,000 feet. Now I'm not going to go maybe out of my way to travel to Downeyville in order to do that.
Right.
But yeah, like, and I've thought about that as well. Like it's cool what it's like just the freshness of experiencing something. It's like I think everyone understands when you first get into mountain biking. I'll never forget when I pedaled 700 feet without stopping, up 700 feet of vertical. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I have arrived, like I've made it. And you feel like just like, I'm so cool. And then you do 1,000 feet and then you do 1,500 feet and you're like, oh my gosh. Right. Like there's excitement in that. And
it totally is. The trail I rode today is, it's called Salmon Falls. I think the actual name of the trail is Darrington Trail, but everybody just calls it Salmon Falls. And, like that was the first mountain bike trail when I got back into mountain biking that I rode. So it was like my first time of like riding a legit mountain bike trail in California. And I remember thinking like, oh my God. Cause like what I had ridden before was like in the 90s where it was like, we didn't really have purpose built mountain bike trail. A lot of stuff we were riding on was hiking trails or like old like railroad tracks or, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, So like to get on a quote unquote like legit mountain bike trail, like it was like I was like, wow, this is just crazy. And like I felt like you did, like man, I like really did this ride, and now I ride that trail. It's like flat. I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of like you know what I mean? Like it's not even like it's like, oh, let's go do that because we want to get some miles. You know what I mean? It's not like let's go do that because it's epic. And back then it was like, dude, let's do that trail because it's like epic, you know?
Yeah. And we have a trail. It's like 2,500 feet, and it's 2,500 feet in 4.4 miles.
Oh, wow.
Which that's just
a lot.
Dumb, right?
Yeah. That's real dumb.
But being like, for me, like, I was like, man, how cool would it be to do that on back-to-back days and go from bottom to top without stopping? Like, nah, I couldn't do it. And so, like, early on when we first started, I was like, this is going to be the perfect place to train. And I got like a third of the way up and I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I literally had to call it. Like, I had to peel off halfway and go down.
When we were doing the weight loss thing?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right away. Like, cause I was like, man, my fitness is not where it used to be. And I could have done that back in the day. Right. And so, for me, that became I need to get fit enough in order to do that.
Yeah. So you're not there yet?
No, I am. Yeah.
Oh, so you got it.
Oh yeah. I got it. Like, probably like, it was only 3 weeks later. It was like that day I was like, I'm such a failure. And I was like, I'm going to come back here every week and I'm going to get it. And 3 weeks later, I made it from bottom to top, 2,500 feet, 4.4 miles. And I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
And the trail down was okay, I guess. Just kidding. It's like a legendary trail, but it was like so fun.
Yeah, I would imagine. Plus like the stoke level once you like do that. So
yeah.
That's really cool. Like that's kind of that. I don't know if you watched the video on my channel. It was like, I think it was like 2 videos ago. It was like the longest ride I ever did.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like basically like all the trails in Auburn. And so like when I first started riding again, you know, like I was riding Auburn, it was like, man, these trails are so much fun. And it would be fun to just like do them all in one day, you know? And that's kind of like where that idea came from. And I never really got to the level of fitness where I could. Like I did most of it. So I think the most I ever did was like a 24-mile segment. So I still had like this one other half, like other climb and descent to do that was like another 6 miles. And I just, for whatever reason, like whenever I would get in that good riding shape, like some injury would happen or, you know, it would be like winter and you couldn't ride as much all of a sudden or, you know, whatever it was. So like I never really did it. And then, so that was kind of like my goal, like what you were talking about. My goal was like, I want to do that ride. And I did it on that video. I actually went back and did it like again, like a couple weeks later, just to like see how long it would take. Cause I was filming that day. So there was like, it really took me a long time, you know, like, cause you're like, you know, doing some B-roll and some ride bys and like, whatever, you know, it just takes forever changing batteries and stuff. So I wanted to see how it was like to do it, like just do it. And then when I did it the second time, it was like faster. I think I was like even like wheels spinning like 15 minutes faster. When I finished the ride, I was like, on the first time I did it, I was kind of cramping at the end. The second time I did it, I was like, dude, I'm straight. Like, you know, like I could do another climb right now, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's sweet, dude. Yeah.
That's really rewarding. You know, I think that's like more rewarding than looking in the mirror and like feeling like I'm not so disgusted with the way that I look. You know, it's like more rewarding to like go out there and like, man, this is something that I've wanted to do for years. And now I can. And I think that plays back into what I was saying earlier is like, I think that's why it's like getting harder for me to like be motivated to drop the last bit that I need like, basically I need to lose like another 30 pounds, you know?
Yeah. And right now I'm about 200 pounds. And I think ideally, like, I think I would like to get to 175. I'd set my sights on 170. But I think 175 would be good for me. So that's like 25 pounds. And I'm like, in one hand, it's like, well, I just lost 25 pounds. I could do it again. But on the other hand, like, dang, that's a big goal.
Yeah. And I kind of think that's where I'm at now too. It's like, man, it's like, this is the thing, dude, is I really want to be like maintaining there instead of maintaining here. You know what I mean? Like, so what I've proven in the last month of being fairly lazy, like is like not fairly lazy, honestly, because I'm actually still riding. I'm still working out. I'm just like eating whatever the hell I want and having beers with my buddies or like right now on the biker bar. Right. So like, so I've proven by doing what I've been doing for the last month that I can eat whatever I want and drink whatever I want and maintain a weight. So now I just need to put the work in to get down to the 220 and then maintain there, you know? So.
And I think you bring up a really good point, and it's something I've realized too. And who was I talking with? It's probably you, or it might have been Paul the Punter. But it's like I burn so many calories on a ride. Like you go on a ride, you can burn, 1,000 calories, 1,500 calories. So what I realized my kryptonite is I've ridden, the last 4 days and whatever, probably done 8,000, 9,000 feet of vert. And it's like, so I know I can go at home and I can eat pizza and have an extra slice of pizza. I can have Thanksgiving dinner and have a beer and not think twice about it. It's like, oh, I'll get a second helping of Thanksgiving dinner. It's like, man, but here's the problem. As long as I'm doing the exercise, I can still maintain my weight. If I slow down the exercise, I'm used to now eating those copious amounts of calories and my body wants it. And then that's how it happens. And it's like what starts and this is for me, and I think you agree with this too.
Yeah.
What starts is like, it's like no big deal because I've done the work. I'm not going to do the work today. But I'm going to keep eating. Yeah.
That's basically what started my weight gain from when I was 220. So like, just to like back up a little bit from that, like I was at like a 250, 255, and whatever reason at that point in my life, I was like, time to get your shit in gear. And I got down to 220 and I was right at like 210, 220 for about 2-3 years. Right. And it was kind of like what you said, like I ate whatever I wanted, but I was going to the gym like 3-5 days a week. I ran every day at lunch. I rode mountain bikes on the weekend. I would commute on my bike sometimes to work. You know what I mean? I was like, I was burning all kinds of calories. So it didn't matter what I ate, didn't matter what I drank. And then I messed up my shoulder and I couldn't ride for 6 months. And like, that's what started it. I mean, that got me back up to 250, like overnight. Cause I just did what you said. Like I just kept drinking beers and freaking eating whatever the hell I felt like. And like, couldn't rope myself in,
Yeah.
So I kind of screwed my shoulder up last week. So I really didn't, I stopped. I didn't work out for the rest of the week, which was mentally tough for me. But like the biggest thing that I was like telling myself was like, look, dude, either you take this week off or you keep pushing it the rest of this week and you really screw it up. And then you're going to be able to not do anything for like a month, you know? So like make up your mind. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So
no, I hear you, man. And that's hard. That's what I had to do with my hand too. Like I had to ride my gravel bike all the time, which was really fun. And I actually got in good shape from that. But it's like, figure out what you can do and don't overdo it so you can keep on the workout train.
Yeah. I think for me on the working out is just like, I just keep adding weight and I'm adding weight. And I'm like, I'm like probably pushing around on some of my exercise almost twice the weight that I was when I started. So like, it's definitely like, I'm way stronger, you know what I mean? So, but I'm also like, I don't need to be pushing around that much weight. I could pull it back and just do more reps and like be okay with that. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to prove, but it's just freaking testosterone or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like,
I can do it.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I need to make this suck and it doesn't suck now. So, like,
yeah, no, I hear you, man. So Rob, what's your goal? Like maybe it's not just your weight goal, but do you have any like fitness white whales that you want to get?
I need to come up with a new one. I mean, honestly, like the big one was like doing that ride. I think I really have my mind set on climbing Downeyville in the spring. Yeah. So that's definitely one. I feel like I need something that's more short term. Because right now it's cold, so it's hard to do as much road. I'm not doing as much road as I was.
Tell me how cold it is, Robert.
I'm such a wussy.
Tell me how cold it is. Tell the viewers deserve to know.
Well, I mean, it's like 50 degrees in the morning, dude.
And what's the high? What's the high in the day?
Oh, I think it was like 65 today, but that's not the part. Like on the road bike, man, it's so much colder. It's so much colder.
It was 42 degrees when I rode my bike today. 42, and that was like near the high.
Yeah, it was 48 when we started this morning, but like, no, dude, I'm a wimp when it comes to cold, dude. But like on the road bike, like seriously, like on the mountain bike, I could be in like the low 40s and not be tripping, but on the road bike, like that wind chill kind of factor of it, it's just like it sucks. So instead of getting up and getting it out of the way in the morning like I was when it was warmer, now I'm like putting it off until like 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Which is then like easier to like just blow off completely because you're like, it's too late. I don't want to do it anymore.
Well, I just want to say I feel so bad for you that your tight Lycra feels cold in the morning when you ride your road bike.
I don't wear Lycra, dude. I wear mountain bike clothes.
Don't lie. You can't lie to us, man. If you're riding a road bike, if you're sipping the Kool-Aid, then you're already too far deep, man.
Yeah.
The Lycra's on.
I'm one of those dudes that doesn't freaking abide by those rules, man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I never could. Like even whenever I first got into mountain biking in like the 90s and all guys were like with spandex because that's all they thought that there was. Like even then I would wear like soccer shorts over the spandex. I was like, this is stupid. I'm not wearing those things. Like I'll wear them because they got the pads in them. So like basically I was using mountain bike shorts back then as like chamois,
Yeah.
So,
I wear Lycra when I do gravel biking. I just like look in the mirror and I just have to tell myself like, you look like an idiot and I'm so disappointed in you. And I'm like, yep. And then I go.
Yeah. I'm still like freaking, yeah. The only thing that I'm doing is I'm clipped in. I will say that, but I'm like still wearing like the Tasco socks and the freaking baggy shorts and regular t-shirt. And I'm that guy out there. Like I had this conversation with trail boss Jeff Lanowski.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, and he was like, "No, I always have to dress the part." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't dress the part, dude. Like I can't do it." He's like, "I just feel weird if I'm not wearing the right clothes for the." I'm like, "Yeah, I feel weird if I thought about putting those clothes on, it would be weird."
Yeah,
so, I just feel like, what's it doing? Like, it's not like me putting spandex on is not like getting me like an extra mile per hour. I'm not gonna like win the Tour de France all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So,
well,
like,
shaving your legs does, but you're right. Lycra doesn't.
See, I do that though.
That's because you're so good at that hair growing thing, man.
That's what it is, dude. Honestly, like I was telling my friend about that the other day, and he's like, "What? You fucking shave your legs?" And then he had some names for me. My friends. So like,
oh yeah, oh yes, I do.
Yeah. So he had some fun with it, and I was like, "Look, dude, if I don't shave from like my earlobes down like once a month or every other month, like I will get shot on the trail because somebody will think I'm a Sasquatch."
Yeah,
like
I found him.
Yeah, they were like, "I finally got him. He might be wearing a t-shirt and some elbow pads, but I'm gonna shoot that guy."
That's what the weight loss is for. You're tired of people thinking you're Sasquatch. I get it.
Yeah, that's what it is, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, dude, I think like climbing Downeyville, like doing a full lap of Downeyville, that's pretty epic. I think that would be a big win in the spring. Do you still want to be at 220? Is that still the sights?
Yeah, I think so. And like, as you know, how the internet's so good at like pointing out shit, right? Like, as so many people on the internet have told me that 220 at my height is still overweight. I know. I don't care. Like, that's the weight that I want to be. So like, that's as far as I'm going. So
what jerks, man. That's like, come on.
Dude, I love the internet, man. Because like everything that you could possibly hate about the internet is the same reason that I love it, right? Yeah. So it's tell me that the internet was not made for the comment sections of anything, right? Like that's the real reason that they invented the internet. It had nothing to do with like throwing elections or whatever, like
that's what I hate about the internet. Because are you 6'4" or 6'2"?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, so you're 6'2", 250. It's like, go walk up to Robert and be like, "Hey man, I know you want to get to 220, but that's still overweight." You're not going to tell a guy 6'2" and 250. You're not going to tell him like, you really should think about it because you're kind of messing your life up. You'd be like, no, that sounds great. Sounds great, man. Go for it.
My other thing that I really enjoyed through the weight loss thing here is like, "Hey, I lost 40 pounds." And they're like, "You should really be doing this diet." So like that one didn't work. The one that I just lost like 40 pounds over the last like month and a half or whatever it was, it was like, I don't understand. So I understand, like, dude, 99% of the time people are like, they're just speaking from their heart. They're like,
they're what they know.
Yeah. So like, I'm going to bag on them, but like, I would bag on you if you were standing in front of me too, just because I'm that kind of guy, but like,
exactly.
I get it, dude. I totally get it. And I take it with stride. Like, obviously I feel like if you don't have thick skin and you're going to do a YouTube channel, you're doing something wrong. Like you're like planning something wrong.
You're gonna have a bad time. It's like wearing a Speedo around your friends who all have regular swim trunks on. Like you're gonna have a bad time. Like it's just set up for it.
Right. I got jokes for that, but I think I'm trying to keep this slightly PG. So I mean, like,
I'm proud. I mean, I just dropped so many F-bombs that I make it hard. Right. But
you did?
I think no,
so you could actually have dropped like 6 or 7. I wouldn't even noticed.
I'm sure if I ever dropped an F-bomb around you, which I just don't swear, but if I did, you'd be like, what?
I don't think I would catch it. You'd have to do it like 3 or 4 times before I caught on. Okay. Let's try it.
No, I think for me, my goal is still around 175. But when I think about a fitness goal, I like the goals I want to do, I feel like are lame. Maybe they're not lame. Some people will think they're lame. It's like, I would love to do a cross-country race and like get top 10 or like get like top 10%. Like I'm like, that would be pretty cool.
I don't care then about I'd have racing at all.
Yeah, well then I'd have to ride cross country and then like part of my soul would die because that's basically road biking and I'm allergic.
I have to read this comment. This is the guy I was in the army with, and he says Robert's used to using the F-bomb as a comma. That's so awesome. Good. It's so true too.
And you were in the army with Kevin?
Yeah. He was definitely. We was in my unit when we were in Germany together. We actually did training up in the Arctic Circle together. It was pretty crazy stuff.
Cool.
But, yeah, it definitely was.
But anyway, so that's one of my goals. Is like, I think I would like to do a really intense cross country race, just to say I did, like to ride 100 miles in whatever elevation in a 3-hour span or whatever. Like, that would be great. I could do that in a 3-hour span, but you get my point.
Yeah. I have like crazy bucket list kind of ideas. Like, have you ever watched that documentary, like Ride the Divide?
No.
It's like these guys ride mountain bikes from Banff, Canada to Mexico, like down the Continental Divide. And I just think that would be like so cool. Like, I'm not trying to like do it in the amount of time that they do it. Like let me give you a gist. Like, I think the record's like 15 or 14 days. I think the record on a single speed is like 19 days. You know what I mean? Like these guys are insane, right? But to like be able to do it in like 2 months or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, like would still just be like, I would love to do like some like epic, like crazy long distance, and I've never even been bike packing. So I don't even know why I'm like, I should probably start with like 50 miles in my backyard. But like in my mind, I'm just like, I want to do like that chick that they did that movie about where she like just did the, what the hell is the name of that trail? It's like all through California. He like goes all the way up to Oregon. I think like, the PCT.
Yeah.
The Pacific Crest Trail. There's this chick there. They did a movie about her. She just like F it. I'm going down there and just decided like bought the gear and like did it. Right.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of feel like that, but like with the Continental Divide, like it's like only 3,000 miles. I mean, come on, dude. Like
just a couple. Right? I watched a documentary about it was road bikers, which I know, shame, that it was like the fastest going across the United States from like,
I've seen that
from the Pacific to the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just the saddle source. Like, just imagine sitting on a saddle for 12 hours a day.
When some of those guys in that video, as well as like the people that are trying to like record the Ride the Divide, they're riding like 23 hours, sleeping for an hour, and riding for another 23 hour. You know what I mean? Like they're like, like ride until like, oh, well, there's a blizzard going on. I have to sleep for like 2 hours until this blows through. So I guess I'll do it. You know, like, okay, I could do that for like, I feel like I have like the esprit de corps or whatever it is, you know, like the mental fortitude to like do that for a couple of days, but to like do that for like 20 days straight, like, I don't know if you've had any experiences in your life where you've spent a couple of days like really sleep deprived, but man, you start getting loopy, dude, like real quick. And like simple decisions become like freaking calculus. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I need to put on a shoe or eat a sandwich. And you're like stuck there, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and doing that, I need to go watch that documentary. The Tour Divide, is that what it's called?
It's called Ride the Divide.
Ride the Divide.
Yeah, I don't think you can find it for free. You might have to pay for it on Amazon, like a couple bucks or something like that. I think they
Sounds
just
like it's
had
worth
like
it.
oh, dude, it's totally worth it. It's like as a mountain biker, and it's it's not like like super chunky kind of stuff that they're doing, but as a mountain biker or a biker in general, to watch it, you're like, it just makes you want to go out and do something epic. You're like, dude, that's just insane. Like, I feel like I would love to do something like that. Even what you were saying, the ride across the country. I had a family member that had done that. Like, and it's like it was like a church thing that he was doing it for.
Really?
Yeah. And they like got all these people together, and like basically they had this like planned route, and they would have, stuff set up in every, 150 miles or whatever for them to sleep and stuff like that, and like he rode all the way across the country. It was like on a road bike. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like I would do that. And I don't even like road biking, but I mean, I just feel like I really want to do something that's just like really test your grit,
And that, I think you and I both, I think that's something we have in common, is like, I love to do things that I know most people haven't done. And so one of my bucket list items is to run a marathon. And I ran a half marathon. I've done that a couple times, but it's like, that seems like, to me, I was like, that's light work. Running a full marathon is like, most people can't say they've done that. But for biking, like, so for me, I only did part of it, but doing some of the jumps at Whistler and Crabapple hits on a hardtail, it's like, my dream is like, I want to do the whole thing on a hardtail. Why? Because there's very few people that can say they've done that. And so for like, and this is my struggle. To me, like, I'll probably maybe I'll watch that and be like, yeah, I want to do this. They Ride the Divide, but it's like, I don't know mountain biking wise what I could do that I would say like, that was awesome. My buddy rode 10,000 feet of vertical, which is 3,000 meters. He did 10,000 feet of vertical in one day. And I was like,
big.
I would like to do that. Like, to me, I'm like, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that seems like a moonshot to me. Like I could do that. Like I could set my sights on something like that. Because like if you told me like 5,000 or 6,000, like I'd still be like, yeah, that'd be hard, but I could definitely like wrap my head around that,
Yeah.
But like 10,000, dude, did you see Mackie do freaking the Everest?
No, and how many? I watched parts of it. How many feet was that?
I think he ended up like, well, I think Everest like to do it is like 32,000 or something like that, and I think he ended up doing like 33 something because it was his like 33rd birthday or something like that.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
Yeah, in one day. Like I did a bend trip recently. Went up to Project 321, had some wheels built, and me and C-Lock went up there. We rode for like 4 days. Just like every day was like a 23, 24 mile ride. And I think we did like, it was like 80 miles or something like that in like 4 days. And at that point, we still had like, I don't know, let's just say it was like 15,000 feet or something. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot, but it was like, it still wasn't even what he rode in one day. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like 4 days of like serious, legit riding, like that's insane.
Yeah. I would love to do something like that. But yeah, that 33,000,
I'm with you.
If that's not, I wonder what the record is.
Oh, like what somebody could do in like 24 hours or something.
That has to be a record. Maybe it's not.
It's not a record, dude.
You don't think so?
No, I guarantee it's not.
So somebody Google and let us know what the record is for most vertical feet climbed on a bike in 24 hours.
Well, the road bikers are going to smash that for one thing.
You think so?
Yeah, because like think about how much further you can go on a road bike. That's true. What I mean? Yeah. But like outside, like even if it was a mountain bike or a road bike, like I definitely like, that's definitely a long day. But like think about like those guys I just told you about, those Ride the Divide guys, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they're climbing for like 23 hours and sleeping for like an hour. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're doing some downhill too, but like just time wise, like, I don't know, maybe, who knows? Yeah. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell us in the comments in a minute.
Well, how about this, Robert? How about we sign up for a cross country race and then go ride Downeyville the whole loop? And
I don't want to do a cross country race like at all.
But
like,
I do.
There's
and you want to climb Downeyville.
There's nothing appealing to me like about that at all.
There's a perfectly good shuttle that drives up to Downeyville multiple times a day. What do you mean there? Of course, there's nothing appealing about cross country racing, but neither is climbing Downeyville.
Yeah, I know, right? Somebody said 95,000 feet in the comments.
90? No.
That's what they said. 95,000. I don't know. You want to fact check it or something? Somebody fact check him.
hey, I believe Big John. He said he just looked it up. But that to me, I'm just like, when I say no way, I'm just like, I couldn't drive a car that many vertical feet in a day. Like, think about that. Like, that's crazy.
I would do the marathon with you, dude.
Would you?
I just like you, I was, but I don't actually need to like do a marathon. I just need to run the distance. I was training to do that in a while back. Let's just say before just a while back. And I did about a half, just shy of it. And then somebody clipped me on my motorcycle, and it kind of like took me off the running game for a while. And then by the time I was like able to like run again, it was like, I don't even care. But I've been kind of like, it was kind of one of those things where you're just talking about, it was like, you know, like to me though, like I just said a minute ago, like I don't actually care about running a marathon. Like I just want to run like 26.2 miles and be like, yeah, I did it, dude.
Sure. Yeah.
So like we could run from Folsom down to Sacramento. It's like 30 miles of like paved trail, like sweet. It'd be a fun run. So it's just a matter of like doing it. So
yeah, but it's so hot down there, you know. I mean, sorry, it's so cold right now. Just
I know, right? We could do it in the spring, dude, when it's like perfect.
No, I'm down for that, dude, for sure. Well, I think it would be good. And my thought is, I don't know how you feel about January, but I'm thinking, man, I want to definitely trickle down and wait a little bit. But January 1st, I think it might be a good time to re-up with some other YouTubers or some other subscribers, man, for the weight loss.
Try to pull it again, like see if we can get some other people in on it too, huh?
Dude, let's gamble. Throw some cash at that cow.
Oh man, when you put money in it, it gets real all of a sudden, doesn't it?
See, dude, like if you have to put like $100 on the line and the winner takes the lot, like dang.
Yeah, I don't even feel like $100 is enough for me, dude.
Okay, $1,000, man. Robert's rules.
Yeah, right. Sorry, Robert said it has to be, dude. Because I feel like $100, like I'd be like, at some point, I'd be like, pay $100, or like just like have fun all weekend. And, you know, like I'm like, screw it, dude. They can have my $100, man.
Dude, the new bike weight loss challenge, like like get 5 guys to throw in $1,000 and the winner buys a new bike. How sick would that be?
That would be insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like, see, but I feel like 1,000's too much. But like, you know, like maybe I'm at like 500. Maybe that's my spot. You know. How
much guys, is enough? So Robert doesn't say screw it,
right? Like I feel like, yeah, man, like $1,000, dude. You guys would lose. I guarantee you guys would lose. Like there is no way you would stop me if I put $1,000 down, because there's no way I wouldn't. I'm not losing $1,000.
I'd put in a feeding tube and like go to the hospital. Like I'd make it work. I wouldn't lose $1,000 either.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think everybody would be like freaking way overly committed. Yeah. Like we would like, I don't know what else I could like. Yeah, I know what I could do. Like, cause I'm thinking like, man, when I started, dude, I was like being super strict on my diet. Those first 2 months, like crazy strict. I rode every day for like, I think the first 3 months, I think I missed like one day. No. You know what I mean? The comments, you read in the comments. Somebody in the comments right now said math is what you do.
Big Johns. How did you lose all that weight? I stopped eating food, start doing meth, and here I am. I ain't got no teeth, but I did it.
I was talking about this on, I think it was last week's BK Bar. I was saying that I had this idea for like an April Fool's video that I was like, just going to be like, look, I need to like level with you guys. Like I lost all this weight, but I did it by like doing drugs. And like I really need to go to rehab right now, so like the channel's going to be down for a little bit, but like I'll be back, I promise. But man, like, you know what I mean? Back. Like all serious, like dead serious, you know. Like And since nobody listens to the podcast, I mean, I think I'll be able to get away with it, man. So
I love the comment. I've never seen a fat meth head.
Oh, move to California. If you don't live out here, man, they're all over the place. It would surprise you.
Oh gosh. All right, Robert, you ready to change subjects away from weight loss?
Yeah, let's get away from it. I'm over it.
Robert, I have a new bike coming, and it's something I've never ridden before, and
it's an e-bike.
Definitely trolled a lot. But
you got an e-bike?
I bit the bullet, and I have an e-bike coming. What'd you say?
I said I'm so jealous.
So let's see if people.
I knew we were going to talk about e-bikes. There's no way we were going to get through this conversation without talking about e-bikes. I even put it in the show more that we would be talking about e-bikes. I knew we. Well,
because I just can't help but do it. So I want people to guess which e-bike they think I bought, and if somebody guesses it, I will have a big prize for them. I'll have if you can guess what e-bike I bought.
Do I only get one chance?
You only get one chance. Everybody only gets one chance, but I will have like a $multi-hundred reward if you can guess it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a high bike or something. It's like somebody you wouldn't even think of. I wonder if I just said it. I bet you.
Well, you have to make one guess. What's your one solid guess? No more hints.
That's the only. I mean, because I by you saying that you're going to put that much on the line, like it would be way too easy for somebody to say Santa Cruz or Scott or Specialized, because those are all the ones that you would expect. So in my mind, it's got to be like a Fasari, or like somebody just said, I can never say that one. Motobacane. How do they say that name? Do you know how to say that name?
Every time I see it, I just go, cheap bike.
Yeah, right. Like it's like Thule. Like some people say Thule, some people say Thule, some people, you know what I mean? It's like one of those names. Like who knows?
No one says Thule, or else they're a fool. I'm just gonna say it.
They're a tool as well, right? You know, so yeah. My first bike that came to mind was YT, but once you said the $multi-hundred prize, I knew that it has to be somebody that's like I said, like high bike, or like somebody like what's that other, there's a brand, like a direct to consumer brand, Polygon. Like I don't know, I don't think they're doing an e-bike. It would be somebody like that. That's what I'm thinking. Somebody said he got it at Dick's.
So the closest person was John D. No, I did not get it at Dick's Sporting Goods. They don't like me anymore. Just kidding. But one of our fellow YouTubers, Cobra Kyle, made a video. He bought his first e-bike, and it was $400. That's right. I bought a $400 Walmart e-bike. That's getting to my door in a week.
Oh, I mean, where did you get this? Walmart, you said?
Yeah, Walmart. It was $3.99.
What?
Can you share your screen? You should pull it up.
Yeah. I'm trying to get there real quick.
Yeah.
Talk for a little bit.
So I literally, if you guys haven't heard me talk about e-bikes, I hate e-bikes. I will not buy one, though I've been tempted. Like I have been tempted. It's like, oh, that'd be fun to ride on unsanctioned trails and get more laps in. But I still haven't ridden one. But when I saw this super cheap one, I was like, if you don't know me, I love Walmart bikes because I do terribly stupid things on it. And I was like, you know what? I would get this cheap one just to see how much torture I can put it through before the frame cracks in half, which might be happening right off the bat.
Oh my.
Robert's like looking for it.
Is it like black and green?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm like, of course, like my browser wants to update now. So give me a second to get this straighten in StreamYard.
But yeah, I think it's going to make a great video, because Cobra Kyle's video, go watch it. I'm going to tell people when I make mine, like, go watch Cobra Kyle's video, because he's like, hey, don't buy this bike. If you're buying this bike as a mountain bike, do not buy this bike. And literally, like, the more he said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy this bike. Like, that's who this bike is for. And I'm curious if it has a tapered head tube, because I will be putting a different fork on it. Yeah, that's it.
All right. That's the one right there. So you guys that are watching, hang on, let me take the other thing off. I got to change our little brand logo thing here. So you're not Robert. So yeah, here it is up on the screen. This thing is like, holy cow. I'm impressed, man. I didn't know they had a $400 e-bike.
I know. So if you zoom in on the rear hub, it's like a different thing. So it's not by your drivetrain.
I'm like on a different screen. So
Yeah, it's like in the rear hub is where the E comes in.
It's like a powered hub.
Yeah. And so I don't know how the power gets to it. I'm sure I'm going to break that too. That fork looks like I would just sit on it and it would break, which is probably what's going to happen. It has V brakes, which I kid you not, I do not know how to use V brakes. Like I don't know how to work on them, so I'm very nervous about that.
But you don't need to work on them, dude. They just don't work. So like that's the thing. Holy cow! How much suspension's on this thing?
Dude, probably zero. Like I don't even look at those specs. I just was like, e-bike plus $400 equals great content.
Yeah, I'm like so jealous that I didn't know about this right now.
I told my buddy Matt about it, and he's like, whatever you do, please charge it outside so your house doesn't burn down. I said, will do.
So those of you guys that can't see, this thing it's a hardtail for one thing. It's got a suspension fork that's probably claiming to be like a 120 or 130 fork. You're going to be lucky if you get like an inch of solid suspension out of it. It's got there's like a derailleur cage freaking bash guard hanging off the back of it. It's 26-inch wheels. And there's something, it's a 1x. Yeah. But it's got some fancy reflector pedals. I bet you there's a kickstand because I don't think Walmart can sell bikes without kickstands.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite thing to put on a bike.
This thing is sick, dude.
So let me read the description for our audio and video listeners. Ride in style with a hyper e-bike electric hybrid bike, 36-volt battery. So there you go. Somebody was wondering. It features a Shimano shift grip or a grip shifter, which I've never used a shift grip. I can't even say that. Right?
Grip shifter.
Grip shifter. A shift gripper. Anyway.
Whatever one of those things.
So blah, 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 blah. Oh, front suspension forks, which does not look like they'll work. And it has a rear hub that has a brushless motor. And it says the battery charges in about 4 hours and lasts 20 miles. You think I'm going to get 20 miles out of this thing?
I don't believe it.
I don't think I'm going to.
I know you're going to try though. Definitely should. You got to run this thing to 0.
Wait, it says run time 1 hour or 20 miles.
Yeah, you can't ride 20 miles in an hour.
Well, on flat ground. Dude, this thing is going to be a nightmare.
Oh my God. I'm so impressed. And this is regular price $798. I mean, you're getting this thing for a steal.
Yeah, but we all know that's not the case. And don't worry, Robert, scroll down real quick. Don't worry. I spent the $34 for the 3-year protection plan.
Why am I not surprised?
So if it breaks, because I will not.
When it breaks.
I will not do anything on this that I do not do on my normal mountain bike. And if it breaks, I will go to Walmart and say, I bought the protection plan.
Yeah.
Take care of me.
You're definitely breaking it, dude.
Robert.
There's no way. Look, it's got a key on everything. Oh, there you go. It's got a key so you can unlock the battery. So you can get like another battery, carry that around in your backpack.
Yeah. And so if somebody guessed it was the Hyper e-bike, whatever this thing is, I was planning on sending it to them after I broke
that's
it.
where it was going to be $200.
Yeah.
I believe it. Man, that saddle's worth $400 on its own. Good God.
But yeah, man. I'm pretty stoked. I'll obviously throw it in my bike bag and come on down and ride with you so we can go check this thing out.
I want to know how much they had to pay people to go out to the beach so they could take product shots with this thing. Like the product shots alone they probably need to sell 30 bikes just to pay for the photographer to go out there and take those pictures all day long.
Hey, you think it's worth it to send our photographer out? I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to get it back, but let's go for it.
The thing is, they're just going to sell thousands of them anyway. I mean, there's already 163 ratings. So, at least 163 people bought it already.
Yeah. And it only weighs, everyone, 46.3 pounds.
I don't even think it matters.
I wonder if that's with or without pedals. I think they care about that kind
without
of stuff.
Pedals. Oh, Lord. Here, I'm going to have to throw this up. Sponsored by Patreon. Yeah. Dude, that's pretty impressive. A $400 e-bike. I really want to get a legit one though, dude. I really do. I really, really do.
Why?
Dude, I rode one of my friends' medium that was definitely too small for me on the trail for like 3 minutes, and it was entirely very fun.
That's like telling me like, hey, like I accidentally grabbed my friend's needle and injected heroin. I'm like, dude, you have a problem already. Like, that's why you don't try them.
Yeah, I was never like anti e-bike. So like for me, like I feel like I'd be like doing like the I'm drawing a blank. I'm like, today's like a bad word day, dude. I was like out on the trail trying to come up with stuff and like couldn't like spit stuff out at all. But I feel like I'd be like eco-friendly by getting an e-bike. So like instead of doing like shuttle runs in Auburn where we have like 5 trucks and we're like driving them up and down the hill and spending all this time like wasting gas and emissions out into the ozone, like depleting. There's like icebergs melting because of us shuttling. Like we could ride e-bikes and we would be able to do all those laps in the same amount of time, except for we would like be climbing.
Dude, well, just buy a Tesla truck and then you don't have to ride an e-bike.
Yeah, but you still have the time of like setting the truck and resetting the truck. You got to drive back down there and get the other one. You got to do shuttle math. You know how hard shuttle math is? I like got like a B in calculus in college, like, and I still have a hard time with shuttle math, dude.
People who whine about shuttling, I just have to tell them. Because like I've heard so many people say like shuttling, you got to figure out. It's like, hey, pull your heads out of your butts. One person drives. So you go to the top, everybody goes down except for one guy. He drives back down. And then the next guy drives. There you go. You're done.
You're doing odd man out. That's way too simple. You can't do odd man out, dude.
No, then you only have one truck. So then it's less like fussing. Then it's like, it's not like, oh, I left my keys in your truck. Yeah, you moron. Thank you. We all know that's happened.
Right? I always leave my keys in my truck. So
there you go.
Just lock them in there.
Now if you find Robert's truck on the trailhead, you know what to do.
Yeah, you just got to find them. I got them hidden in there. So
yeah,
I got a Ford, dude. They had like the keypad on the door, so you just got to remember your codes. So
what's your code again?
Yeah, right. Like ask my daughter, she'll tell you on a live stream.
And her phone number too.
Yeah. Okay, so I wasn't sure if you knew about that. That was.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was an inside joke for like 60 people that were on that live stream. Those of you guys don't know, I got to tell a story, right?
Yeah, do it.
So I was live streaming on the Biker channel, which the Biker channel live streams, if you guys haven't watched them or been part of them, like it's usually like I'm bored because my lady's out of town and I'm just getting drunk in the garage, maybe with my friends, maybe without my friends, or like whatever. And it's like I'm just, bullshitting. And usually they'll go on for a couple hours and some like it just declines from the beginning. Like at the beginning, it's like makes sense. And by the end, it's just like, let's see how housed Robert can get. So like
that is how they go.
Basically. And then I always delete them. So like, it's like, I've always felt like if you're on the stream, you get to be part of it. And if you're not on the stream, dude, it's like, maybe I got so drunk I forgot to delete it before I went to sleep. So you got like a couple hours in the morning to watch it, but otherwise it's gone, right? So like the one night, like I'm tying one on and my daughter came out and man, it must have been early because she was looking for dinner. Like I think she like came home from work or something and she's like, dude, what are you doing for dinner? And I was like, I don't know, go eat leftovers or something. I'm freaking live streaming, get out of here. And she's like, oh, come on, I want pizza. And I was like, look, guys, if you guys, I said to her or everybody, I don't remember who it was, how I like laid it out, but it was like, if you guys super chat enough money for her to get pizza, then I'll buy her pizza. And of course, instantly it's like, boom, there's $100 on it. I'm like, oh, great. So I'm like, okay, well, you need to order the pizza. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it yourself. So she calls up and then like, at the part whenever they're like, I think she's got it on speakerphone too. So at the part whenever she's like, they're like, okay, so what's your phone number? And she just like gives it to him, like on the live stream. I'm like, all right, live stream's over. We got to delete this one now.
All these random guys. Hey, how'd you like your pizza?
Right? Oh man, I just knew like everywhere that the internet could go with that was not going to be a good place. So. Oh man.
Did your daughter realize like that was a bad idea?
Not until I started like blowing up, like, oh shit. Because we always make fun of her because she's blonde. So we're always like, blonde jokes. So, and
Never heard
so
of
like
one.
that
Never
definitely
heard of
would have been like one of those things. I mean, that's probably one of those things we still tease her about, but she
Yeah.
does so many things in that like nature where like she lives up to being like, she lives up to the blonde jokes. So of course she's got like part of my personality, so she doesn't really care. So
Yeah. So I'm blonde. Deal with it.
yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you met my daughter. She's, yeah.
I don't think I did.
You didn't?
No.
Oh yeah, because she might have been at her mom's house or something, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably didn't have the kids for the weekend. That I brought all the miscellaneous YouTubers to my house that I didn't really know in real life to come stay.
Yeah. And it turned out I was way creepier than you thought with this mustache.
I know, right? So. Yeah. I didn't even know that you, like, if you would have showed up with the mustache, Katie would have been like, nah, dude, that guy's not staying.
But now she knows me, so she'd just be like, Josh, you look terrible. I'm like, I know.
Richard can stay, but Josh, no.
I'll never forget coming back and Richard passing out on the couch, and I definitely poked him a couple times to make sure he was still breathing.
Oh yeah, that was a good weekend. Was
Yeah.
that the one? God, how much personal information am I going to get out here? Was that the one where his pants were like too big and he was like dropping his pants, but he didn't have any underwear on, but he didn't realize? Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I definitely had
because you were telling Katie like, turn your head,
don't look. And his butt was
oh yeah, that was hilarious. Oh my god,
I'll never forget driving your truck down the freeway trying to babysit you and Richard.
Oh yeah, because we wanted to keep drinking. I didn't understand. Yeah. You're like, well, it's only like a 3-hour drive back to Sacramento. You're like, yeah, but you guys are still drinking. And I was like, yeah, but you're not drinking, so you can drive, dude.
Yeah, and James was with us. He's like, yeah, you guys really shouldn't be doing that. And you and Richard were like, okay, yeah, we'll stop. I'm like, hey, cut it out.
Then we went road. We stopped in. We did the Hoot Trail too.
Yeah, Hootie Hoot.
Yeah, that was dumb. I don't
know. Good times, man. Well, hey, who knows where in the world COVID's going to be come June? But I hope that.
So since
traveling,
since I lost the bet, I'm supposed to come up there and pay for your dinner. So I was hoping to come in January. That's kind of what I'm planning on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And I don't think we told people. Yeah, that was the bet. So, dude, yeah, please do. Like I said, I'll buy the ticket, man. I got miles. I'll totally hook you up.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'll take you up on that. So all else I gotta do is buy dinner then, huh?
Yeah, they're super
wasn't
cheap,
that the
dude.
deal? Like I have to buy your dinner.
Yep.
Dang, I really wanted to force you to go to Hooters.
And
I like double down on the January bet, man. I don't
know. Maybe I'll choose to go to Hooters, Robert.
Right?
Oh wait, awesome. They don't have any in town. Oh, that stinks. Oh.
You could at least pick me like a good wings place. That would be good. Like that's like one of the main reasons that me and my friends all like going to Sedona every year is part the Sedona bike festival. But there's also this place that we eat wings at on Saturday night that is so much fun.
Yeah.
And we always hang out with these guys. They got a group. They call themselves the Hot Mess Express. Tell me that is not like the best name for your like riding buddies.
Yeah.
Then you can understand by like the name of them why I like hanging out with them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going to Sedona? I mean, I bought my tickets, but I don't know if it's going to work out.
I'm going no matter what. Unless they like ban travel, I'm going.
Yeah.
So like whether there's a festival or not, I'm going. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are kind of on that, like that's their plan. So I feel like there will be some like socially distanced planning that will be happening right beforehand if it doesn't go through. I feel confident though, man. I feel like it's going to happen.
Sure. Yeah. I need to bring my Walmart bike so I can do a Walmart bike on the white line.
Oh God. That's not bad, dude. Like I actually don't want to see you die, dude. I can't believe you did it last time, dude. Like honestly.
Oh, that was the first trail I did at Sedona.
That's stupid. Like it is. Like I watch those videos and I'm like, this is the worst, man. Like I'm all totally freaked out about like this person dying. But like on the other hand, I'm like, dude, they edited the video. You know they live. But I'm still like, I don't know. I think he's gonna fall. You know, like.
Well, if your viewers don't know, you're afraid of heights, so that doesn't help.
That definitely doesn't.
No, man. It's not, like I said in the video, like, it's not, everybody should not do it. Like, I'm not telling you to do it. But if you're a good rider, like, it's not that bad.
Yeah. I feel like.
And you have to know how to do rock rolls or else you'll die.
Yeah. I can do all of those things, but not next to a cliff.
Yes.
So like that for me is like, I get like insta stupid whenever there's like exposure. Like I did this trail yesterday. It's yesterday I did this trail. And it's just like a good section of it had this like just crazy drop. Like I was not impressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the whole time, like I'm now like, if that trail didn't have that drop next to it, I probably would have been going about 25 miles an hour. And because of that drop next to it, I was going like 7. You know what I mean? So it was, and I was like all clenched up and like, oh, just like it was it. I wish I could talk myself out of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just definitely not my thing.
If you should check my last ride video. It was called a trail called Trace Hombres. And it does not look difficult on the video, but it's like a butt puckering double black. And there's a couple of sections where it's like double black tech on like a pointed like ridge line that like if you slip one side or the other, it's like day ending. Yeah, you're going out in a hospital. It was fun. It was great. Everyone should do it. No,
how do you ramp yourself up for that, dude?
Here's the thing, Robert. I've told people this. I haven't said it in a while, but like my brain is not wired correctly. Like I just like, to me, I'm like, oh, this is a mountain bike trail. Like tons of people ride this. So I can ride it. Like that's how I went into the white line. Like I wasn't that nervous. I was just like, yeah, like everyone does this. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my brain just doesn't process, oh, you could die. Oh, there's a risk. I'm just like, no, like it's good. It'll be good.
So you got a little moonlight in you, huh?
Oh, me and Moonlighter, we're best buds, man. I mean, yeah.
He did some sketchy shit today, man. I mean, one doesn't he? But he's a good rider.
Dude, Zach is a kamikaze in how he rides his bike. Watching him do that waterfall, I wasn't there, but I saw the video in Phoenix. I was like, dude, Zach, you should not be doing that stuff, dude.
Yeah. But he did it like 3 times. Like I think the video only shows his crash, right?
Yeah.
He like cleaned it like 2 or 3 times before that crash. And that's the thing about him is like, that's what I was telling somebody actually today. I was like, you know, everybody, his crashes always make the videos, you know, because like they're just comical, right? It's just not, right? But like his like really good riding, like nobody really ever gets to see that. They just get to see like the like silly stuff that he does. And I'm always like, I never said to anybody that he was a bad rider. I just said, watch this. It's funny. You know what I mean? So when we get somewhere like Sedona and he like does something, people are like, whoa, because they're not expecting him to actually be a good rider. And it's like, no, he's actually a really good rider.
Oh yeah. Like Zach holds his own. He just doesn't have an off switch. Like most of us, like I have an off switch and Zach's like, nope.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah. It was like today he did this line at the beginning of the ride that was pretty sketchy, right? And then, of course, he had to do it again, which, okay, I get it. He did it once. Okay. And then we did the whole ride and he's like dusted on the way back. And then instead of just like being like, okay, let's roll the truck, then he went and did that line again. And it was like, you know, it was like, dude, like, here's the spot where you're dead tired and you freaking like break your face in half because you're trying to like, I don't know what you're trying to prove. You like, you already proved earlier. You did it twice. Like you don't need to like show anybody anymore, you know, like, but of course he did it. And like typical Moonlight Leatherfoot style, just walk right through it. And you're like, oh God, it's just stressful. Like well, I was telling the guy I was riding with, I was like, it's like aggravating and like exhilarating at the same time. Sure. You know what I mean? You're like irritated with him, but happy that he does it, you know? Like, oh man.
That's Moonlight, man. Yeah. I wish Zach could come with you up to Bellingham to experience our trails.
I told him he would come, dude.
He would definitely. He should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want both of us in your house? And now we're gonna have to get a hotel. So
First off, you're not staying in my house. That's for sure.
Oh, damn it. Now I forgot about all that.
I'll put you up in somebody else's house so that you guys are on better behavior.
Yeah, I remember you saying that now.
All right. Hey, last question I have for you, Robert. How's the new bike been, dude?
Oh my God, dude. I
did you sell the old one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I sold it like basically right after I got the new one. So I got the new one, switched some stuff, sold some parts off the new one, and then sold mine to pay for it basically. So it really only ended up costing me like, because I sold the wheels. Moonlight wanted those reserve wheels. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, if I find a bike that has reserve wheels, I can sell them to him for like $1,000, which is a good deal for him. And then that's $1,000 less for the bike. Then I can sell my bike for, I ended up selling my bike for 38, which is good deal. Well, I mean, I think COVID helped. So, so there's $4,800 on a $5,500 bike. So you know what I mean? So that I got a brand new bike for whatever that math is. You guys that can add it all up. It was a couple $100, right? So I mean, it's basically
$6, Robert.
Yeah, $6.27. But yeah, so like that was like part of the reason that I ended up pulling the trigger on it. And this is the thing, man. I tested the V3 when it first came out, and I really liked the V2 better because it was like more poppy. And I feel like, man, if I would have had that bike for like a couple of days, I would have had a totally different opinion. Because this one, it just took me a little bit of time to like understand how to make it poppy. It was like you had to ride it a little different.
Sure.
And all in all, like this bike's amazing. Like really, like I am probably the thing that gets me the most is how well it corners. It's like, like this is how I explain it. It may not be actually what you're doing, but it's like you pull the handlebar down into the corner and it it just whips. And it's just like, it sticks, and like, yeah, the climbing's better for sure. Like I PR'd almost every one of my climbs as soon as I got the bike. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm in the middle of the weight loss thing. Cause it's like last week I was on the V2, this week I'm not. And now I beat it. And then I rode it again the next week and I beat it again. You know what I mean? It was like, holy crap. Like definitely the pedaling efficiency is way better. Yeah. And, this once again is like all the reason why I don't feel like I need a 29er.
Well, if you really want to get good PRs, then you'd ride a 29er.
Yeah. Is that like cheating though? Is it like basically like having an e-bike?
Yes. 29er equals e-bike. That's what
it's like the gateway drug to e-bikes is what I'm feeling like.
Yeah. I agree with all of that except for every part of it. But besides that, totally agree.
Yeah, like I agree with like 1% of the 99% or something like that.
Yeah.
What is it?
All I gotta say, man, 29ers, they name an EWS rider that rides a 27.5. All the guys riding for long sustained climbs and then trying to go fast and have fun down trails are riding 29. There's a reason. Just saying.
Yeah, I think they're all wrong. That's what
Again, I agree with every part of that statement versus the whole thing. But
they're being paid by bike companies that want to sell more 29ers. I feel like it's a conspiracy, man.
Like one day 26 is going to come back and Jordan Bruce is going to be like, I told you.
Right? This 24 is coming in, dude. It's hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if a 26 bike just pops back up out of nowhere.
No way.
I feel like it's going to be like a hardtail kind of thing, like where people start buying hardtails because they're like, man, I want to make trails hard again, so it's going to be like somebody releases like a 26-inch wheel, maybe it's even a 26-inch wheel hardtail, like just because
they tried.
Did they? Who's that?
They try to make a 26 plus, which would equal a 27.5, but it just didn't take off because plus tires, I know you love plus tires, but plus tires are kind of booty. So
why do you think that? Man, I don't like you. I actually don't like you. I don't know why I'm like, I don't agree with any of your opinions. Huh?
I said, you forget so easily. Like this is like, right? Yeah. I like, Isaac, my editor, he's like, yeah, he's getting a YT, what are they called? Capra. He's like, I kind of want to try 27.5. And I was like, or plus. And I was like, no, like 27.5 plus is really good on a hardtail. I like that. Yeah. But on a full suspension bike, it's a waste. It's too much plush in your wheels, and you don't need that.
I think it depends on how much you weigh. I 100% think that it depends on how much you weigh.
So you think big guys like plus size tires?
Yes. Every big guy that I know. Because it's like, dude, we don't know what it feels like to be 170 pounds and have grip. And on a plus tire, we do. That's the best way I can explain it, dude. Like, honestly, like it's like, that's really what it comes down to. The first time I rode a plus tire, and even at 220, I'm still obese. So like the first time I rode a plus tire,
overweight, not obese.
Oh, I think they might even said obese, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, so like seriously, it was the first time in my life that I was like, holy crap, like this is what they're talking about. Like traction feels like. I was blown away.
But the problem is greater traction does not equal better performance or better speed.
Not always, so no. I can see what you're saying there.
If you use the grippiest compound tires, you're going to, and you use 3.0s, let's just say 27.5 by 3.0, you're going to have more control in the corners and you're going to feel like you're glued to the ground, but it's going to slow you down. It's going to take your momentum and therefore you're not going to be able to go as fast.
So wait, I think we need to do some
testing.
We need to establish something here. Like, what is a plus tire to you? Because I am riding what I'm considering plus tires, but at the most I'm on a 2.8.
Well, 2.8 is plus.
Yeah. So some would call it 2.6 plus. Would you call it 2.6 plus?
No. That's like a
gateway drug. It's like a semi
plus. Yeah.
It's like a plus-ish.
I think like 27.5 by 2.6, like front and rear. I would call that. I don't call that plus sizes. Mm-hmm. I think 2.8. Once you hit that limit, like you'll notice on the tires, a Maxxis 2.6 looks just like a Maxxis 2.4 or 2.3. But once you get 2.8, it's like a whole different style.
Yeah. It definitely looks a lot better. I think the biggest that I know the biggest that I've gone is 2.8, and with Cushcore on it though too, so that it like stiffens them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about. So I mean, if I feel like if I rode a 3.0 tire, I would not like it as much.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be too squishy. Because even the 2.8s, like without Cushcore in them, I'm not like totally crazy about that.
No, and that's the thing. You need Cushcore then because it's not as you have more space to take care of volume.
Yeah, just like wobbly. But I mean, if you had like DH casings or something like that, maybe a really wide rim would probably still be all right without the Cushcore.
Yeah, and somebody said test shows that wider tires are faster. That's not true.
I've heard that.
But here's the thing:
like somebody fact check me a link up there, dude. I want to see that.
But guys, look at the fastest riders there are in the EWS and in downhill in all these areas. They ain't running 2.8s. They're not running 3.0s. At best, they run 2.6. And because anything beyond that, it doesn't yield the returns that it does up to that point. And so there's a sweet spot. So for me, like I love a 2.5 on the front and a 2.4 on the back. Like as a 29er, to me, that's like rad. Mm-hmm. If I was running 27.5, I would probably run 2.6s, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am. All this shit that I just talked. Now I'm gonna like backpedal and like you guys will see in just a second. So like when I first got the Bronson, I was waiting on some wheels to be built. So I was still running. I was using my hardtail wheels on my Bronson. So I was running 2.8s with Cushcore on the Bronson, and I surprisingly really liked it. They're also like a low profile. It's the Maxxis Recon, so it's like a really fast rolling tire. But I was running it front and back and like getting gnarly with it, like not having any traction problems or anything. Like really, really enjoyed it. Like, and now I'm running 2.5s, and man, I still feel good.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I feel like I could sit here and argue with you about it, but then like on the other hand, just like get out in the trail. I'm like, yeah, this is good too.
Yeah.
So.
And here's the thing, we're not racers. And so if somebody is like, hey, I love plus size tires, they make me ride faster with more confidence, or then I'm like, yeah, go for it. But for the mainstream, if I was going to start a bike company, I would only make 29ers, right? Like I wouldn't make 27.5. I wouldn't make 27.5 plus, because most people are finding a 2.4 and a 2.5 29er is the sweet spot, right? So
yeah, I think like what you just said there is the part where I would 100% agree with you. Like if I was tomorrow starting a bike company, it would definitely be a 29er.
Yeah.
I would make it so that it could do 29er plus though.
Yeah, that's not really a thing. I guess it is. There was the
like, I put it this way. I would like to ride a 29er at like a 2.6. Like that's about as big as I would want to get on 29. Because like, man, honestly, like a 29er, when I first got the Chameleon, it had like 2.3s on it, 2.35s. Yeah. Those tires, I was like really surprised with how well they hooked up. Yeah. And they were also low profile, like fast tires. That's actually what got me into those tires, was that bike. If it didn't come spec'd with those tires that it came with, I would have never, I'd still be running DHF, DHRs, and that's it.
Yeah.
And right now I have on my rear tire a Minion SS, which is like big side knobs and like nothing in the middle.
I noticed that on your most recent, I think it was Instagram or somewhere, where you posted a picture of your bike. I went, oh, Minion SS, interesting. I know a couple people who run them, but
C-Lock talked about that tire for like months. He was like, dude, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And then because of me running the low profile tires for a while, I was like, I'll try it. I like that tire like 95% of the time. Yeah. Like it is really good for 95% of the time. I've noticed in heavy braking, steep stuff that I start to lose. Like it'll lose the back end, especially in a corner. Like if I jam the brakes because I'm like, oh crap, and then like back end will break loose. It'll slide enough that the side knobs grab, and as soon as they grab, then it's predictable. It's like a predictable slide, you know. So it's not like, oh crap, I'm totally out of control. But it's definitely like I feel it letting go. And like what I was on today was like stupid steep. And I felt it a few times today where I was, because I'm like, it's like very controlled braking, steep, rocky kind of stuff. And it was like, I felt it a couple of times, like just where I was like, man, I wish I had a different tire on today, you know? But other than that, I love it every other day. So like 95% is a pretty good hit rate for me, you know?
Yeah. And I think that for your California riding, I think that makes a lot more sense, right? For us, where it's wet and muddy all the time, like it just doesn't work. Now in the summer, that's where I see people run them, is in the summertime. But that's why we always run DHRs, the ASA guys, or as I call them, ass guys. Those things are super thick and grab onto everything. So
I think that's what I have up front right now. I always forget. There's like 2 tires. Hang on, let me go look.
I'm telling you, that's what's on there, man. I saw it on your Instagram picture. I was like, that's a good tire.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the one that's up front. So I don't remember how I ended up with that tire. I think it came on the wheels that I bought for Katie's bike. And I was like, yeah, I'll give that a shot. Throw that up front. And then I bought that SS for the rear. I've been really happy. Some people told me that Asa guy, or whatever you want to say, like that it breaks loose a little bit too. But as a front tire, it seems like it's been good. And I feel like as a big dude, like if I'm not like losing traction, like it should be a pretty damn good tire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So the other thing that I will say about this, for those of you guys out there that are thinking about trying these tires, if you don't have a rim that has a really wide inner diameter, or whatever that inner is, help me out, Josh.
Yeah, it's the inner rim width.
Inner rim width. If you don't have like a 30 or a 35, like the rims that I'm running right now are 35s. That's what makes that tire work the way it does, in my opinion.
But that's almost 35 is plus size tire rims.
Yeah, these rims will do between, I think it was like 2.4 and like 2.8 or 2.3 and 2.8 or something like that. So like the biggest that you're supposed to put on these is 2.8, I think. The NVs. Dude, these things have been awesome. I am actually pretty damn surprised. I did that interview I had an NV on the podcast, And they were basically, the guy was like trying to talk me out of Cushcore because I think he was thinking mostly like on like for like snake bite kind of reasons, you know. He's like, hey, we got this new thing, and you can not need them to like protect your tires that way. And part of the reason for me riding Cushcore had more to do with like the suspension aspect of it, or like the sidewall stiffness, you know.
Yeah.
So not, but so I reached out to them, and they hooked me up with some wheels, and I've been riding now for about a month or so now without Cushcore. I've been really impressed with these rims, dude. Like, honestly, like I didn't think that I was going to like them as much as I am right now.
Yeah. I think that 35 millimeter internal width is pretty wide. So that probably helps a lot. Yeah.
I think that's the thing is my old Envies were like 26. So when I put on like a 2.5, it really was ballooned.
Yeah.
You know? And so if I didn't have the Cushcore in there to be able to run the pressure lower and like kind of change the shape of the wheel a little bit, then because like I took the Cushcore out after I had that conversation with that guy just to like kind of like refresh my mind on those old rims. And like in the first 5 minutes of the first ride with the Cushcore out, I was like, screw this, I'm putting them back in.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that's the thing that I was going to, you know, that I would the point that I'm trying to make the people that are listening. Like, I really think that at least a 30 internal on your rim is like what makes these tires like really sing.
Yeah, I run my FSAs are 29 millimeter internal width, and I run a 2.5. And if you're trying to run 2.5s, which everyone is, make sure you have at least 29 millimeters internal, or else you're gonna, like you said, 30 is a great target. You're gonna have a bad time if you don't.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. So
the wheels that I was running on the Bronson before that, the 2.8s, they're on 45 millimeter internals.
Yeah, that's what my plus size wheel set is, 45 millimeter internal.
Yeah. That's crazy wide. But like you can get away with like such a low profile tire because you have so much tread on the ground that like that was what was really fun about that. It was like, oh, it feels like I got another inch of suspension in the bike, and I got like all this freaking like traction, and then it just rolls super fast because I don't need to have this meaty tire. It was really hard for me to like, I almost shelved the tires the 2.5s that I have, and was just like, I'm just going to go really big, you know? And then I was like, you know, I have these tires. Before you like go coming up with some other idea, like let's just try it, you know? And been really impressed.
And that's a fun thing. Just try it. It doesn't hurt to give something new a try, or take out your Cushcore, like refine why you like what you like so much. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, you know, it really is, every once in a while to like go back and try that again, or like, excuse me, why was it? You know, that's a good thing that kind of little segue is what I've been thinking about. And you did this actually on your channel a little bit, so maybe you have some insight for me. I rode clips for like 20 years and decided to try flats because I got that hardtail, and that ended up like making me see the light to go hard flats. And I've been thinking about doing a video lately that like, let me put clips back on and see how I feel about it now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I still ride clipped on the road bike or the gravel bike, you know, so it's not like I've lost the muscle memory or anything like that, you know, but I'm curious to see if the reasons that I decided to stay with the flats actually like still mean as much to me. So you kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah, I haven't ridden with clips in over a year, and it would be hard for me to go back. Like, I don't think it would be hard. It's just, I don't know. Flat pedals grip so well when you have good shoes and good pedals that you're gonna be fine. And so it's just getting over that.
You did a video where you were like, dude, I'm going clipless, like, and you were like amped about it.
Yeah, and I loved it. And what I loved was perfect pedal placement every time. And that to me was like awesome. Also, your feet don't move around. Like, you're stuck, so you're committed. And so I really loved that aspect of it. And I do miss it at times, But when you're doing super steep and super janky stuff, or you're racing enduro, like to me, that's when I don't want clips.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do that a ton, but I do it enough that it's like, I'm going to just stick with flats.
Mm-hmm. It was hard for me at first to stick with the flats because but I think the main reason that I did was I was blown away by how much skill set that I had lost because of the clips. Like the first time that I used to like do huge like tabletop kind of like gap jumps and shit like that on my BMX. You know what I mean? So like I knew how to do huge jumps on flat pedals. So whenever I rode mountain bike for that, as long as I did, and put those flat pedals on, the first little rock that I rolled off of that was like a 6-inch drop, like both my feet came off the pedals. I smashed my balls all over the top tube. Like it was like a freaking shit show, right? And like that instantly like made me realize, like, dude, I don't even know how to jump.
Yeah, that's bad being form.
Attached. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once I started riding, I was like, oh wow, like I wasn't dropping my heels at all because I didn't need to keep my feet on the pedals.
Yeah.
So like my cornering got better like instantly whenever I started riding flats. And it was like basically like between those like two things that I just explained there is what, like, I couldn't bunny hop very well anymore. I was like, dude, I've like forgotten everything, and it was like, it just made me realize that this is not actually making me a better rider.
Yeah.
And I knew that there's plenty of other guys that I ride with that I would have flats on that were like smashing through the rock sections just as quick as I was. So it wasn't like I was getting faster through the downhill because of them. So the only like real justifiable reason that I could keep riding clips was, when you get really tired, you can pull, so you could, and that was nice. Like when your legs are like bombed, you can yank up instead of like pushing down. Like, dude, you're working different muscles. So like that was nice. But how often does that happen? Not very. And to me, I think one of the things that I love the most about flats, and this is like such a minuscule thing, but it's like if you get stuffed in the middle of a super steep section and you're trying to get started again with clips, it sucks. And God forbid it's a muddy steep section. Yeah. So it's like mud in your cleat and you're trying to get it back into the pedal and get started and not screw up because now you're like you can't do, like, it's very difficult and like setting you up for failure. But with like a flat, I could put my foot on almost anywhere and be good for at least long enough to like get to a spot where I can like get it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you, man. And that's why once again, like kind of coming full circle, if you've ridden clips for too long, go to flats. If you've ridden flats for too long, go to clips. Like, and just see. Like, I think that's what I ended that whole like back and forth with, is like, just switch it up and it's going to be good.
Yeah. I think
so. Yeah.
Dude, 2 hours. You want to shoot for 3 or what?
I'm out of here, dude. I got to mow my fence. I got to mow my fence.
Yeah, there you go. Makes sense. Good Lord. Dude, it was super fun chatting with you, man.
It's always a good time, Robert. Thanks for having me on the show. I love your viewers. I love hanging out and talking good stuff.
It is.
And anytime I can just, royally just take a big old dookie on e-bikes, and 27.5 is a good day to me.
What if you get that thing and you're just like, sell all your stuff and you're just like you see the light, like you're like, okay, this one sucks, it's a $400 Walmart one, but I'm in. Like, what if you're like doing, like earlier you made that joke about, what if I accidentally shot up heroin? You're like, dude, you did heroin. Like you're like not accidentally shooting up heroin. You're like on purpose, like, I'm just gonna try it a little bit, it'll be funny.
I just think it's going to be so junky that it's not going to matter, but we'll see. Here's the problem. You can't ride e-bikes on our local trails. It's all illegal. So
interesting.
I have to figure out where to ride this thing. Dang it.
I don't know. I've seen you doing like 75 miles an hour blowing by a speed limit sign in your little dookie truck, whatever you call that thing.
Dookie truck's appropriate. Yeah. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe next time I come on, it's like, I've seen the light. I've come to know the e-bike maker, and I'm riding them. We'll see.
It's all in. Oh man. Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in, man. It's been awesome. If you enjoy the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because honestly, I'm trying to see this number go up and it's not moving very quickly. So you guys only got a couple more months of me sticking with this before I'm like, forget it, I'm over it. And then I have to take a break for like another year and then get the itch for the podcast again. Then we'll call it season 3, So if you guys don't want to have like a year-long break in between now and the next time, the season, if you want season 2 to go on for a long time, then hit the subscribe button. That's what I'm looking for. Those of you guys on Patreon, dude, I really appreciate it. Seriously, I said that in the beginning, and I'll say it again. Like, really means a lot. If you guys are interested in like helping support the channel, please do swing by there. It's $1, at least for $1 a month. Like, just think about it, man. $1 a month. That's not much. Like, definitely. Like when I used to go out to the bar and have some drinks with my buddy, like I would probably have like 4, 5, 6, 7 trips to the bar. I mean, I wasn't buying them all for myself, but it's like, how many bucks was that? That's for what? A couple hours. You could just do $1 a month. The next thing you know, dude, this channel is like, boom, just blowing up. Next thing we'll be like telling Seth, hey, if you want to fly out to California, you can be on the podcast.
There we go.
It would be sweet, right? But anyways, no, I can joke and digress, but like seriously, it means a lot, and it definitely helps the channel. It really truly does. So until I'm like superstar status like this other dude, Josh, like I'm gonna keep bugging you guys, man. Come on, throw somebody at me. No, seriously, it was great, Josh. I had a good time. Good time. I'll just say one last thing. It only takes a bike to be a biker. Get out and be one.